Welcome back to Soft Spoken English, the place where we learn English through heart-touching and real-life stories. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Soft Spoken English.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Soft Spoken English. Today, I want to invite you into a very personal experiment. You know, these days, our phones are like extensions of our hands. We wake up with them. We eat with them. We even fall asleep with them next to our pillows. But sometimes I wonder, what would life be like without a phone? What if, just for one day, I switched it off and lived without it? No messages. No notifications. No calls. No scrolling. Only me, my thoughts, and the real world. So I decided to try it. One full day, morning to night, without my phone. And in this video, I'll take you along with me. I'll share every detail. How I felt when I woke up without an alarm. How I ate breakfast without watching anything. How I worked in silence. And how I slept peacefully at night. At first, it felt uncomfortable. Almost like missing a part of my body. But slowly, something surprising happened. I began to notice things I had ignored for so long. The sound of birds in the morning. The color of the sky. The simple laughter of people around me. It's like I woke up from a long, digital dream. And as I share this story with you, you will also practice English. Because I'll speak slowly, clearly, and with simple sentences. You can shadow me. You can repeat after me. And you can learn new vocabulary from my day. So let's begin. This is a day in my life without phone. Morning without phone. The morning started differently. Normally, my phone alarm wakes me up. It rings loudly, and the first thing I do is grab it. But today, I had set a small table clock. When its alarm rang, the sound was softer. Not aggressive, not sharp like my phone. Just a gentle beep, beep, beep. I opened my eyes. The room felt quiet. Too quiet. My hand automatically reached to the side, where my phone usually rests. But there was nothing. For a second, I panicked. Wait, what time is it? Did I oversleep? Did I miss something? But then I looked at the clock. It was 6:15 a.m. Still early. Still fresh. I lay back on the bed for a moment. Usually, I scroll my notifications before getting up. But today, I had no notifications. Only my thoughts. And honestly, they felt louder than usual. I sat up slowly. The sunlight was peeking through the curtains. I pulled them back. And oh, the sky looked beautiful. Orange, golden, soft blue mixing together. Without my phone, I didn't just see the sky. I stared at it. I admired it. I felt thankful for it. I stretched my arms and whispered to myself. Okay, let's do this. A whole day, without my phone. Tea without music. I went to the kitchen. Usually, the very first thing I do is play music or a podcast on my phone while I prepare tea. But today, silence. I put water on the stove. The flame flickered. The sound of bubbles rising was surprisingly soothing. As the water boiled, I could hear little things I usually ignore. The ticking of the wall clock. The distant barking of a dog outside. The rustling of leaves in the wind. When I added tea leaves, the smell filled the air. It was rich, earthy, warm. I smiled. Because in that silence, tea-making felt like meditation. Simple, slow, mindful. I poured the tea into a cup and sat by the window. Usually, I'd scroll Instagram stories while sipping. But today, I just looked outside. Birds were flying. Neighbors were walking. The world was moving, even without a screen. Breakfast mindfully. Around 7:30, I prepared breakfast. Just toast, butter, and eggs. Normally, I'd play a YouTube video while eating. But today, I sat in silence with my plate. At first, it felt strange. Like something was missing. I even reached out to grab a phone that wasn't there. But then, I noticed something new. The crunch of toast. The warmth of butter melting. The softness of eggs. I thought to myself, this food has always tasted this way. But I never paid attention. I realized, without my phone, my senses were sharper. I could actually taste food. Not just eat it while half distracted. As I was finishing breakfast, my mom walked into the kitchen. She looked at me, surprised. "Mom, you're not on your phone today?" Me, "No, Mom. I'm trying a no-phone day." "Mom, really?" Let's see how long you last." Me, laughing, "I'll prove you wrong." "One whole day." She shook her head and smiled. But her eyes said, "Good luck." That little conversation made me realize. Even family notices how much time we spend on phones. After breakfast, I decided to go for a short walk. Usually, I listen to music with earphones. But today, no music. At first, the silence felt heavy. But then, slowly, the world spoke. I heard birds chirping. I heard my own footsteps on the ground. I heard the breeze moving past my ears. As I walked, I noticed little things. A flower blooming on the side of the road. A cat stretching on a wall. The smile of an old man jogging. One boy was bouncing a ball. The sound, thump, 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 echoed in the street. Without earphones, I felt part of the world. Not closed off. Not separated. Connected. By 9 a.m., I was back home. Usually, I would check my phone again. But today, I just sat on the sofa. And for the first time in a long time, I was bored. Yes. Truly bored. But that boredom was powerful. Because in that empty space, my brain started thinking. What do I want to do today? What are my goals? What am I avoiding? I grabbed a notebook and wrote down a few thoughts. Simple things like, drink more water. Call grandma later, on the landline. Read at least one chapter of a book. Write and journal before sleep. Normally, my phone gives me so much information that I don't hear my own thoughts. But today, without it, my mind was clear. I felt present. I felt alive. Evenings are usually my favorite, and also my most distracted time. That's when I usually lie on the sofa, phone in hand, scrolling endlessly. But today, no scrolling. No phone. Just me. I sat quietly for a few minutes, feeling a little restless. My hands wanted to pick something up. My brain whispered, check your phone, just once. But then I smiled and reminded myself, no. Today is different. Picking up a book. I looked at my shelf. There was a book I had bought months ago but never touched. It was covered in a little dust. I picked it up, cleaned the cover, and opened the first page. At first, it felt strange to read in silence. I'm so used to having background music, videos, or notifications. But slowly, as my eyes moved from line to line, the world of the book pulled me in. The words painted pictures in my head. The sentences felt alive. I underlined a few lines I loved. And I thought, without my phone, my attention belongs to one thing at a time. This book. This moment. My younger sister walked into the room and looked at me with surprise. By 5 p.m., I went to the living room. Usually, everyone sits together but each person is looking at their phone. But today, I was free. Around 6:30, I stepped outside again. The evening sky was beautiful, a soft pink fading into purple. Children were playing cricket. Elderly people were walking slowly, talking to each other. I smiled at one little boy who ran past me with a bat in his hand. We both laughed. That tiny exchange felt more real than hundreds of likes on a post. I realized, when I don't have my phone, I naturally talk more to people around me. By 7 p.m., I was back home. No endless scrolling. No comparison with others' lives. Just my own, simple, calm evening. And in my heart, I felt light. Nights are usually the most dangerous for me. That's when I pick up my phone, promising myself, just 10 minutes. And then suddenly, it's midnight. But tonight was different. At dinner, I sat with my family. Normally, the TV would be on, and half the table would be on phones. But today, we decided to switch off the TV too. The food tasted better. The conversation felt warmer. Dad, so, how was your day without a phone? Me, peaceful. Strange at first, but peaceful. Mom, you looked calmer. Less distracted. Me, maybe I should do this once a week. They smiled. And in that moment, I felt connected to them, really connected. By 9:30, I was in my room. Usually, I scroll in bed until my eyes hurt. But tonight, I simply switched off the light and lay down. The room was dark, calm, peaceful. No buzzing. No glowing screen. I closed my eyes. And for the first time in weeks, I fell asleep quickly. Spending a whole day without my phone taught me many things. At first, I felt restless. Like I had lost something important. But slowly, I felt free. Free from notifications. Free from comparison. Free from the pressure to be online. I discovered food tastes better without distraction. The clock showed 9:30. Normally, this is the time when I'd pick up my phone to check messages, scroll through Instagram, or reply to emails. But today, silence. I sat at my desk with nothing buzzing, no lights flashing, no vibrations pulling me away. At first, my hands twitched. My mind whispered, just a quick check, maybe you missed something. But then I reminded myself, no. Today is different. I opened my notebook instead. The blank page stared back at me. I picked up a pen and started writing. What do I need to finish today? What do I want to focus on? What matters most? As I wrote, I realized something surprising. Without my phone, I wasn't multitasking. I was focused. Present. Sharp. Around 10 o'clock, the habit hit me. My brain said, maybe someone messaged you. Maybe you got an email. Maybe you missed something important. I reached for my pocket. Empty. I laughed at myself. It was like my brain was addicted to checking, even when there was nothing to check. I whispered aloud. See? This is how deep the phone habit goes. I decided to make myself a cup of coffee. Usually, I'd scroll while waiting for water to boil. But today, I just stood there. The kettle hissed. Steam rose slowly. The smell of coffee powder filled the air. It felt calming. Like every step had weight. I poured coffee into a cup, sat down, and just held it. Warmth spread into my hands. I took one sip, and suddenly, it was the best coffee in weeks. Not because it was stronger, but because I was actually tasting it. No distractions. No background noise. As I sat outside with my coffee, my neighbor passed by. She looked surprised. Neighbor, no phone in your hand today? Me, haha, I'm trying something new. A whole day without it. Neighbor, wow. I could never. I check mine every 5 minutes. Me, that's why I'm trying. Let's see what happens. She smiled and walked away. And I thought, it's not just me. Almost everyone is trapped in this cycle. By 10:30, I started my work. Normally, my phone keeps pinging with WhatsApp, emails, little reminders. But today, nothing. At first, it felt empty. But then, I began to enjoy it. I opened my laptop and focused on one task at a time. No switching. No sudden breaks. And to my surprise, I finished faster. I thought, maybe my phone doesn't save me time. Maybe it steals it. Around 11:15, I leaned back in my chair. Without my phone, there was space in my mind. Space to think. Space to dream. I asked myself, when was the last time you just sat, without stimulation? I realized I didn't even remember. Because every spare second, in the bus, in bed, during meals, was filled with screens. But now, silence. And silence brought clarity. I noticed my own breathing. I noticed the sound of ceiling fan turning slowly. I noticed how sunlight touched the corner of my desk. Simple things. But powerful. By 12 o'clock, I had completed all my important tasks. No interruptions. no delays. I felt strangely proud. Walks feel fresher when you listen to the world. Conversations become deeper when there are no screens between us. Phones are not bad. They are useful. But too much of them takes away the beauty of life. Sometimes, we need to pause. Sometimes, we need to look up. Sometimes, we need to put the phone away, to come back to ourselves. Here are some useful words from today's story. Restless, unable to relax, always wanting to move. I felt restless without my phone in the morning. Clarity, clear thinking, no confusion. Writing in my notebook gave me clarity. Presence, being fully in the moment. Without my phone, I felt presence at dinner. Addicted, not able to stop using something. I realized I was addicted to checking notifications. Peaceful, calm, quiet, relaxing. The night was peaceful without blue light. Connection, feeling close to someone or something. I felt real connection with my family when we talked. Mirror, figurative, something that shows you your true self. Journaling acted like a mirror for my thoughts. So, that was my day without a phone. It was not easy. It was not comfortable. But it was beautiful. I learned that life is full of details we miss when our eyes are always on screens. I learned that silence can be powerful. I learned that connection is stronger face to face than through a like button. Now, I want to ask you. Could you live one day without your phone? If yes, what would you do? If no, why not? Write your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a like. And don't forget to subscribe to Soft Spoken English for more stories, vocabulary, and daily English practice. Thank you for spending this time with me. Stay calm. Stay connected to yourself.